Hi, Mary here from Mary's Heirloom Seeds, and I'm going to help you start a garden from scratch. For some of us, it's as easy as pick your seeds, plant your seeds, and water your seeds. But I understand it's a lot more complicated than that. We're going to try and simplify things for you today and have an easy solution for you to get started from scratch. Site selection. For optimal plant growth in your vegetable garden, you're going to need 6 to 8 hours of full sun throughout the day. As you can see behind me, we have plenty of sun in our garden. Now let's say you've got an area in your garden that you just want to dig up and create a garden patch. There are 3 easy ways to get started in that area. If you already have plants or weeds growing in that area, you can dig that up and discard it and then get your garden started there. Or you can solarize your soil and lay down to kill any of the grass or the weeds. Next, you can do a container garden where you've covered the area and you're growing above ground, or you can do a raised bed. Also, you're covering the area and you're building up. One word of advice for beginner gardeners: do not use weed killer in your garden. Do not use weed killer in an area where you plan to start a garden. I have seen on numerous occasions where brand new gardeners have had a patch of weeds and they've sprayed the soil or the weeds and now nothing will grow in that area. Or you've sprayed the area where you have your garden and now your plants are dying. So please don't make that same mistake. Basic ways to grow are 3 ways. You've got in ground, in containers, and in raised beds, as we've previously mentioned. Now on our property, when we first moved here, we knew right away that we have gophers and we have rock hard soil. So raised beds were the easiest solution for us. Now I also understand that getting started with a raised bed can be more costly than in ground, but for us it's a much better long-term solution. We have a video on our YouTube channel. Please check it out. Like the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got quite a few videos on getting started with a raised bed garden, container gardens. We even have a video on starting a bucket garden. All of these simple solutions are great for beginner gardeners. If you are buying soil for a raised bed, in-ground, or a container garden, it's important to understand the different types of soil. So you've got garden soil and you've got container garden soil. Garden soil is typically a little more dense, and the garden soil that you can get in the store would need to be added to if you're putting it in a raised bed. Then you have container garden soil, and that's going to be a lot more fluffy. On our YouTube channel, we've got a video of a do-it-yourself container garden mix. It's an excellent option for just beginners. Now that you've decided how you're going to plant, it's important to decide what and when to plant. Now, one word of advice for you if you're just getting started is choose varieties that you know you're going to eat. I always like to add a few unique varieties that I've never tried before, but you really don't want to grow this giant garden of things that you aren't sure that you actually want to eat. Growing a garden takes time and it takes a commitment, and you want to make sure that it's something that you are going to enjoy eating. Now, when to plant is important. I'm not going to go into specifics about this video because in the description section of this video, you'll find Mary's comprehensive planting guide. There is a region-specific guide and a zone-specific guide to help you decide when to plant. When I first moved to Florida, I planted this beautiful garden, but I used my California guide. And now that we're back in California, we have our own guide of when to plant. Here we have over 230 frost-free days, so we can enjoy planting almost year-round here, whereas depending on where you are, you might be planting something different than we are. Also in the description section of this video is a link to our easy varieties. That's just my opinion on what might be easy. What you think is easy might be a little different. I'd say my top 2 would have to be Swiss chard and radish. They're delicious and easy to grow. Many herb and veggie varieties can be started indoors 2 to 8 weeks prior to your last frost date. Now, if you don't know about frost dates, your last frost date is the last frost of the season in spring. And your first frost date is going to be the first frost in fall. And that's usually when we've stopped planting. So to be prepared and maybe get a head start on planting, you can start some seeds indoors prior to your last frost date. Some of those varieties are usually ones that take a little longer to mature, and that would be tomatoes, peppers, eggplant. Those tend to take a little longer to mature, so you can always plant those indoors and get a head start. These peppers here, we started those indoors so that we had a nice, beautiful crop when the summertime came around. All right, we're almost done. If you've enjoyed our video so far, please like and subscribe. We would love to have you check out more of our videos. Again, a lot of information is posted below in the description. Last on my list is water. Now, I'm not going to go into specifics also about water because depending on where you are, say if you're in Florida, you're probably not watering your garden as often as California gardeners or Texas gardeners. So you want to keep your soil moist but not waterlogged, and that's where having a good healthy soil with plenty of organic matter is going to come in handy. If you haven't added that to your garden, you can always do it in the form of compost or aged manure. Again, that's in our do-it-yourself container garden soil mix listed in the description section of this video. So keep your soil watered, keep your seeds watered, but you don't want to have them waterlogged. One of the major issues that people have is too much water in your garden can actually rot your seeds. And also if you plant your seeds too deep, then they don't have a chance to thrive and germinate. I hope you've enjoyed our video on getting started in the garden. We've got containers here. We've got raised beds here. And if you've got any questions, you can always send an email to mary@marysheirloomseeds.com. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and all that fun social media stuff. And hit that like and share button. Thanks for joining me, and happy planting.